who are we? We are Steve and Barbara Parkoff. We live in Edison, New Jersey, near Metuchen. We've been coming to the synagogue for many years, and we enjoy being here.
I'm Muriel Levine.
And I'm Hazel Rabinowitz.
I'm Ezra Rich.
And I'm Sarah Rich.
My name is Alan Core.
I'm Kathy Cohn.
And I'm Ira Cohen. So we're Michael and Jennifer Freeman, and we are longtime members of the congregation.
When we first came to the temple in 2012, it was over the summer.
We officially joined the temple in about 21 years ago. Prior to that, we participated in other events and joined 21 years ago.
Oh, about 20 years ago, I started coming to hear Rabbi Hilsenrath.
I came to Highland Park just about a year ago.
We started coming to the shul about 15 years ago and probably joined a little while thereafter when we first moved to Highland Park.
It's true. I actually came directly from a shiva, directly to a mincha minyan, and I'll never forget how welcoming. I think particularly Sheldon was. I really felt at home immediately.
Okay. Well, I was born in New Brunswick in 1920, and my family moved to Highland Park in 1921. And my dad built a two-family house right where the parking lot is now for our temple. That's where I grew up. And then after that, and I went to the Highland Park High School. I graduated in 1938. I was the first graduating class of the Highland Park High
That's
School.
correct. You were. I was born in 146 North 6th Avenue in Highland Park, and I lived there almost all of my youth.
We were first associate members for a few years, and then in 2010 we became full members. And about the same time, Heather was planning a bar mitzvah for Jacob, and Heather and Philip Kibble decided to join the synagogue too. And Jacob interviewed the rabbi, and he liked the rabbi very much.
Well, so I was looking for a shiva minyan, but I really, honestly, I was so taken with the warmth and the embrace of the community here that it although I came from an Orthodox background, I really felt at home, and we've made our home here.
Denver.
And I grew up going to a conservative shul, so we floated back and forth. We went to
A little bit of
AA
floating.
one or two times in OE, and we just both felt very comfortable here.
So we had our first bar mitzvah in about 2011 with Jacob. And then a few years later, Zachary became a bar mitzvah here also.
And now we're waiting for Rose, whose bat mitzvah will come Memorial Day weekend. We're very excited about this. We're very pleased to be doing it here again. We find that the office staff is extraordinarily wonderful working with both us and the Kibbles in making all of the arrangements and making it happy and making us feel very good about being here and sharing our simcha with the community.
I became associated with the temple in 1949. I was married June 12th in 1949, and in that fall for the high holidays that year, my husband Julius Levine and I joined the temple. And it was nice joining the temple because my parents, Natalie and Joseph Fetterman, of blessed memory, were the charter members of this temple. And so it was great to become the next generation here.
But we were looking for a nice, warm community, and a real Shabbos community, and we have definitely come to discover one over time.
I came here because I'm a conservative Jew, and I find that I can practice the religion the way I want to and learn more each time in a conservative environment.
I really don't ever remember not belonging
I
here
don't either.
and not coming here. Although both of us,
We always
came
came
all our
all the
lives.
time, all the time.
Even as a child, I had my Hebrew education through this temple. I was bat mitzvahed when they had that little cheese box on North 3rd Avenue.
Well, we had children, and we knew that they were going to need to go to Hebrew school, and they could even walk. We lived down the street, and this is where we wanted to settle in.
When I was about 10 years old, they had a fundraiser for the temple, and there was a movie house in Highland Park, opposite where the
Called the Park Movie.
Park Movie, opposite where the 6th Avenue and Woodbridge Avenue, there was a movie house. The fundraiser was that the temple bought the tickets, and the temple sold the tickets, and they had to, I used to deliver the tickets on my bicycle to the members so they could go to the movies. So I was really working for the temple in 1930, a long time ago. I'm still riding a bicycle, but now I'm riding a 3-wheeler instead of a 2-wheeler. But I get around, I ride many, many miles all the time.
I like the services, and that's not all there is to this synagogue. What there is to this synagogue is, in the true sense, in my mind anyway, a community environment.
Amazing rabbi. The rabbi is a wonderful speaker. Really, and I could give you a list of people I know who come just to hear your sermon on Shabbos, and I am amongst them. So I have to say that's like number one.
Yes, indeed. There's a very nice community of both people in our age bracket and beyond that. And I feel very fortunate because not only do we have co-religionists, whether people who have an affinity for hockey, for cars with proper manual transmissions, and other exciting, I'm sure there are other topics too.
If I can add that something that was missing for us in New York was being part of an intergenerational community. We were with people who are all our age all the time, and we really changed age brackets by virtue of having a child a year after we moved here and then another one 2 years after that. And something about having children, even if you're only a little bit older, makes you in kind of a different subset of the community. But we have friends who might identify as senior citizens, and we have friends with children, we have friends without children, friends with grown children, and being part of an intergenerational community is something that we find really meaningful.
Newcomers are welcomed, and if you want to talk to somebody, you could talk to somebody. You want to sit and daven, it's fine. You're not challenged or made to feel bad if you don't understand something, if you can't read something in Hebrew exactly what it is. It's fine. You do what you feel comfortable doing, and feeling comfortable, I think, is part of the excellence of this shul.
Rabbi Malamet and Zoltan Kemeny approached me, I guess around 2010, and asked me to be the director of adult education, or the committee chair. And I was chair for 3 years. And it was very challenging and I enjoyed it very much.
Yes, I decided that in order to get to really know people, because you meet people during services, after services, you chat a little bit, but you don't really get to know people. So I needed to join various committees. I joined the religious committee. I joined the sisterhood board. And then I worked my way into the membership committee. And now I'm handling fundraising. I'm the chair of the fundraising committee. I'm also on the board. And I'm finding them to be wonderful experiences, to get to meet people, to get to know people better, to find out how we can help the synagogue.
We had a gala every December, but when I say gala, I mean gala, with the evening gowns and the pearls and the tiaras and the all dressed up, and everybody went who could possibly afford to go. At that time, it was $100 a couple, which was a lot of money, or you raised ads. And my husband chaired it for 13 years, and then he died. And that was the end of his career at the temple, but we always were active.
Oh, I didn't go to Hebrew school here though, but I did go to Sunday school. I was sorry I didn't learn Hebrew. I just went to Sunday school, but I remember that Rabbi Ravitch, that
Do you
Hazel
remember
was
Rabbi
speaking.
Ravitch?
I remember Rabbi Ravitch very well.
We went right through the rabbis.
There was Rabbi Ravitch, and then there was, after that, there was Rabbi Listokin, was that
Right.
Rabbi Listokin.
And there was,
Sh-
what was his name, Sherman or Schubert? We didn't like him.
No, he didn't stay
No.
long. And then there was Rabbi
Listokin.
Ritholz,
That's right.
and then Rabbi Hilsenrath.
Yeah.
And then now
We went through them all,
and now we have Rabbi Malaman.
and we're not letting them go.
What I love being in a community where we help each other, and it was nice going to services and being around Jewish people and feeling together with everyone.
People are friendly. People are welcoming. We've been welcomed into people's homes for Shabbat dinners, for Shabbat lunches, and various members of the community. And I like the fact that it's very intergenerational. There are people of all ages, and it's almost as if age doesn't matter. People are very warm and embracing almost in terms of who you are and what you can provide and how you can get to know new people. And as far as I'm concerned, we love the services. I love the fact that it's quiet in the sanctuary during services. People aren't constantly talking. If they're going to talk, they go out. It's a beautiful facility also, and I love that.
Our friends go here, the kids feel comfortable here, they can walk up alone on Shabbos. It's just like a meeting place and, a place they feel comfortable. They can walk in and out. We all feel very comfortable here.
It's true, and if I may, Mrs. Herman, I have to give a shout out to Mrs. Herman because we have 3 kids, and what a big draw once I was here amongst the community. Every Shabbos morning, me and Jay Schwartz, we would take, he has 5 kids now, we would take our kids to Mrs. Herman's class. And for years, that's really what my shul experience was. And that cemented our relationship with the shul. Now our kids are too old, unfortunately, for that. We've now graduated to the big room. We're in the big room.
I feel very connected to everyone. I feel connected to the services. The rabbi and the cantor.
I'm very comfortable here too, and it's a home. It's like a second home. I was here every morning now that he retired, and now he's a morning mainstay of the minyan.
It's an interesting group of people, a great dichotomy, and I really enjoy it.
I just walk in and this is like family around me. I mean, you're obviously family. And, just you walk into the office and the girls are there and they're great and they're one of the big assets of coming here.
For Yom Kippur, because I have never driven prior to this year, but I must say it was the first year in many that I came home from services and felt that my prayers were actually heard.
I love the caring. I love the feeling at home. I even love when you call up to find out something, how obliging everybody is with their answers and how loving they always are. And it's true. Our temple is a very loving place.
I love the sermons, and our system now is that we take turns who's a Torah time and who is in the sanctuary. And I'm every week, walk away with new ways to think about text and how to apply them to current events, and I love the depth of them.
I have to say that there are certain people here that should get a lot of kudos. I love the way Jonathan Ehrlich reads the Torah. It's crystal clear. I like the way Lisa Zimmerman volunteered to put the program brochure together and did still does an outstanding job. And Sheldon Freudenreich runs a very business-like minion.
I mean, we both work full-time, so for us, coming to shul on Shabbos is just like, it's the highlight of the week. It's just like, you see your friend, Michael loves listening to your sermon. It just sort of like centers your week.
You know, the camaraderie, the closeness, the kindness of the fellow members and the people I've gotten to know over the years.
They also saw us through some rough times, losing both our parents.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
of
I
course,
lost,
34 days.
well, losing both of them.
Yeah.
That was bad. But, you know, I mean, just having Minion in the house and the outpouring of support and affection from the people. And, you know, they're wonderful. The membership they're wonderful people. They really are.
And so our daughter Miriam was born in June of 2013, so really just a year and a day after we moved here. And our daughter Sivan was born this past September 25th. And they, those are highlights. We were, at the naming, had a list of people who were able to attend, people that we didn't know a year before. So it's pretty incredible. And the congregation has been here to celebrate with us and to support us during times where we needed help. We feel very much like, in some ways, they're everybody's kids, that, you know, we lose track of Miriam during Kiddush, that someone will make sure that she doesn't wander too far. And, you know, that's just one example of ways that we feel very supported.
Yeah, I mean, Miriam now gets more excited about going to temple than she does about going to school, and that's not only because of the great Torah time programming with Mrs. Herman, but yet indeed that whole Varmketter, that warmth of the whole community. In fact, we were very touched when Linda Tandau said that perhaps the highlight of her presidency was when Miriam ran up onto the beam into her lap during the Adonolum singers component of her service.
That's right.
And, you know, as Jewishly knowledgeable and passionately, you know, committed that Ezra and I are, we don't think that we can just raise Jewish children by ourselves, because it's about the people that you surround them with. And so getting a start on that here, I don't think we could have done any better.
Well, I think it's very important they come to temple, and I think it's very important if they can attend classes and come to the lectures, which I find very, very good. And we've also now have the movies a few times a year, and being together with everybody, and everybody is so warm and friendly. And I think it's very important that when we come to temple, if we see a new face, to go over and speak to them, make them feel at home and feel part of our community, because the community is very important, that we have an active, warm, healthy Jewish community.
Every Jewish family should belong to a temple. And of course, my favorite has always been, and I don't know any other, than this conservative temple. But it's mighty, mighty important for the young people to learn that they must belong.
You know, since the shul has been redone, it's such a great place to have a simcha. It's so like bright and airy and welcoming. And, you know, I've heard recently of 2 or 3 families that have joined in the past few months. And I think that's great, just to keep growing the shul.
I'd like to make an appeal for people to come to the morning minyan. We have a wonderful minyan. I urge people to stay in the community when they retire and join our minyan. We enjoy davening together and then having a little cup of coffee afterwards.
And a little schnapps.
A little schnapps.
I think quantity of new members is something that probably every synagogue, with the exception of one that I can think of, is looking for. So I think it's not just about adding numbers to a roster. I mean, I think it's about weaving networks of people together into creating community, you know, and so it's reaching out to people who are unaffiliated and seeing what they want. And that's really hard to do. You know, I think everybody wants to add more people, but to do it in a way that is really open to what people are looking to bring or changes they might want, it's very hard. But I would love to see that kind of intentional growth happening from the temple.
Well, I certainly wish we could continue going on and improving and gathering being more open to more Jews of all kinds.
I think for the temple to continue to build on a very vibrant community, and in the one hand, it seems very much the same in terms of I've never felt more out of place from not having a Rutgers or a JTS affiliation directly. At the same time, as we had with the Anshe Ahmed Memorial Shabbat, people from very interesting backgrounds, from survivors to Jews by choice to successful public officials and business leaders. I feel like there's such a tapestry of people, and I hope that we continue to build on that and have a very vibrant community where you have not only everyone knows your name, but there's lots of different faces and perspectives that one could encounter as part of being a part of the temple community.
Absolutely.
You, Rabbi, and this shul have made an invaluable and indelible impression on me as a person, on my wife, and on our 3 children. And I just think it would be amazing if you can impart that gift in the future going forward to other families, and we'll do whatever we can to help.
Oh, I want you to celebrate for many, many years, just like we did when we were young. We thought this was the greatest event of the year, and it still is a very gala event. Keep on coming, children, and keep on enjoying.
Continued prosperity and good health and happiness.
Shehecheyanu.
Shehecheyanu.
That's true. Shehecheyanu b'kimono v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
180 more years of the same. Excellent.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. To the next 180 years.